Jack Johnson. Let's start with Jack Johnson, who wasn't just the first black heavyweight champion, he was the first fighter to challenge what boxing and society allowed at the time. Born in 1878 in Galveston, Texas, Johnson rose from poverty to become a dominant force in the ring during an era of deep racism. The world around him was full of rules that tried to keep people like him down, but Jack had something different. He was strong, smart, and never afraid to go his own way. In his early life years, he started fighting in small clubs, working his way up with every punch. In 1908, he defeated Tommy Burns to become the world heavyweight champion. The win angered many, not just because Johnson won, but because of how he won with style, confidence, and a calm dominance that humiliated his opponents. Jack Johnson didn't just fight inside the boxing ring, he also stood up to racism every day. He wore stylish clothes, drove fancy cars, and lived life on his own terms. He even married white women, which made a lot of people angry at the time. But Jack didn't let that stop him. He was proud of who he was and didn't try to hide it. His boxing style was different too. He didn't just swing wildly. He watched his opponents, dodged their punches, and waited for the perfect moment to hit back. He changed boxing from rage-filled to a chess match, influencing generations of fighters to think as much as they punched. But Jack's success made many people upset. In 1913, he was convicted under the Mann Act, a charge that most people now agree was based on racism. He even went to jail, but he never gave up and stayed proud of who he was. Jack Johnson changed boxing for good. He helped open the door for future champions like Joe Louis and Muhammad Ali and proved that a boxer could be more than just a fighter. Long after his time, people still talked about him. In 2018, over 70 years after his death, he was officially pardoned by the U.S. government for the unfair charges he faced. That shows how big of an impact he had not just on boxing, but on history in general. Joe Louis. Joe Louis was born in 1914 in Alabama, United States, into a very poor family. Life wasn't easy, and when he was still young, his family moved to Detroit in search of better opportunities. That's where Joe found boxing, and it didn't take long to see that he had real talent. From the start, he made an impact. He didn't waste energy in the ring, and people admired his calm, focused style. He fought with skill, discipline, and respect, which made fans love watching him. In 1937, he became the heavyweight champion of the world, but his most famous fight came in 1938 against German boxer Max Schmeling. It wasn't just a fight, but it felt like a battle between good and evil. At the time, Germany was under Nazi rule, and people saw the fight as something much bigger. When Joe Louis knocked out Schmeling in the first round, it lifted the spirits of millions. For many, he became a hero, a symbol of hope during dark times. Joe also played a big role in changing how America viewed black athletes. He was humble, respectful, both inside and outside of the ring. Because of that, even people who had once ignored or rejected black boxers began to admire him. His success helped break down barriers, opening doors not just in boxing, but in many other areas. Furthermore, Joe Louis set records that still stand today. He held the heavyweight title for 12 years, longer than anyone else in history, and defended it 25 times, the most successful defenses ever. During the tough years of the Great Depression and World War II, he gave people hope. Joe showed that a man from a poor family fighting racism and hardship could rise to the very top and earn the love of a whole nation. He didn't just change boxing, he inspired courage, brought people together, and gave pride when it was needed most. Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard was born in 1956 in North Carolina and raised in Maryland. At first, he was not always interested in boxing. He was a shy kid who liked staying home, but when he put on the gloves as a teenager, something changed. His talent was clear, and soon the whole world knew his name. Ray became famous after winning a gold medal at the 1976 Olympics. From there, he quickly rose in the professional boxing world. He wasn't just good, he was exciting. He had fast hands, sharp footwork, and a smile that lit up the screen. Fans loved him, and he brought a new kind of energy to boxing. But what made Ray special was how smart he was in the ring. He didn't just throw punches, he made moves like a chess player. He adjusted his style in every fight. If you are aggressive, he'll make you miss and punish you. If you were slow, he'd dance around and wear you down, and his speed and timing were something fans hadn't seen in a long time. Sugar Ray also helped bring attention to lower weight divisions. Heavyweights were the ones that always got the spotlight, but Sugar Ray showed that smaller fighters could bring just as much excitement. He was a big part of the Four Kings era, fighting other legends like Roberto Duran, Thomas Hearns, and Marvin Hagler. Outside the ring, Ray was a clean-cut, media-friendly champion. He had the charm and personality to attract both boxing fans and casual viewers. Sponsors wanted him and TV loved him. He helped boxing stay popular during a time when it could have faded. Ray also fought through pain and setbacks. He retired more than once because of eye injuries, but kept coming back stronger. His comeback win against Marvin Hagler is still seen as one of the smartest fights ever. Sugar Ray Leonard didn't just win titles. He brought style, brains, and light back into boxing. He showed that being tough also meant being clever, and with every punch, smile, and step in the ring, he helped boxing stay alive and loved. Rocky Marciano. Rocky Marciano was a boxer from the United States who made history by doing something no other heavyweight champion had done. He retired without ever losing a fight. Born in 1923 to an Italian immigrant family, Rocky grew up in a working-class town and lived a tough life. He didn't start boxing until his early 20s, which is considered late. Before that, he had worked hard jobs like digging ditches and even tried playing baseball. Rocky didn't look like the perfect fighter. He was short for a heavyweight, with short arms and a different style, which seemed unprofessional, but what he lacked in size, he made up for in heart, power, and toughness. He trained harder than anyone and had a will to win that couldn't be broken. He didn't care if he got hit and just kept coming forward, throwing heavy punches round after round. What made Rocky truly different was his punching power. His right hand, nicknamed Susie Q, could knock out almost anyone. Even when he was behind in a fight, one punch could turn it all around. He wasn't flashy, but he was brutal and relentless. Opponents would try to box smart, but Rocky would just wear them down. His record shows it all. 49 wins, 43 by way of knockout, and 0 losses. One of his most famous fights was against Joe Walcott. Rocky was losing the fight badly, but in the 13th round he landed one huge right hand that knocked Walcott out cold. That punch became legendary. People knew Rocky had that kind of power, the kind that could change a fight in 1 second. Marciano's impact on boxing was huge. He gave hope to people who didn't like the ideal athlete. He showed that hard work, heart, and belief in yourself could take you to the top. He became a symbol of determination for many fans, especially during tough times in America. Even today, people talk about Rocky's record and his fighting spirit because he didn't just win. He never gave up. That's why he is remembered not just as a champion, but as a boxer who changed boxing. Muhammad Ali. Let me put it to you this way. Muhammad Ali wasn't just a boxer. He was a movement. Born Cassius Clay in 1942, he changed his name after becoming a Muslim and finding a new purpose in life. He came from Louisville, Kentucky, and started boxing at age 12 after someone stole his bike. That one moment led to a career that would shake up not just the sport, but the entire world. Ali's boxing style was something people had never seen before. He was a heavyweight, but he moved like a lightweight. He'd float around the ring like a butterfly, fast on his feet, dodging punches with his hands down and head up, a style people thought was risky, but for Ali, it worked. He used his speed and sharp mind to beat fighters who were stronger or more experienced. But what truly made Ali special wasn't just what he did inside the ring. Outside the ring, he spoke loud and proud. He had strong beliefs and never stayed quiet. When the U.S. wanted to send him to war in Vietnam, he said no. He stood up for his religion, his people, and his beliefs, even when it cost him his boxing license and 3 years of his prime. He came back stronger. In one of his most famous fights, the Rumble in the Jungle, he beat George Foreman using a smart plan called rope-a-dope. He let Foreman tire himself out, then finished him. That win made Ali a hero, not just in America, but all over the world. Ali won the heavyweight title 3 times, something no one had done before. He beat legends like Sonny Liston, Joe Frazier, and George Foreman. Later in life, he faced Parkinson's disease, a neurological disorder that affects movement, but he continued to inspire people with his grace and strength. He changed boxing by making it bigger, louder, and smarter. He used words, style, and heart. He made people think, laugh, cheer, and believe. Muhammad Ali wasn't only the greatest in the ring, he was the voice of his time and a legend that will never fade. Floyd Mayweather Jr. Floyd Mayweather Jr. was born into a boxing family in 1977. His father and uncles were all boxers, so Floyd grew up around the ring, but he didn't just follow their path. He took it to another level. From a young age, people could see he was special. Fast hands, sharp eyes, and a brain made for boxing. He turned professional in 1996 and never looked back. What made Floyd different was his defense. He didn't get hit much. In fact, many fighters couldn't even touch him properly. He used a style called the shoulder roll, where he tilted his body just right to dodge punches and counter with perfect timing. He didn't chase knockouts. He broke opponents down round by round, winning with skill and smart moves. Outside the ring, Mayweather changed the business of boxing. He understood money better than anyone. That's why people call him Money Mayweather. He left big promoters and started his own company. That way, he kept most of the earnings for himself. He made hundreds of millions of dollars, especially from fights like the one against Manny Pacquiao and the event-style match with Conor McGregor. He turned boxing into a proper business empire and showed fighters how to control their own careers. Mayweather retired with a perfect record, 50 wins and 0 losses. That's rare in boxing, especially at the top level. He won world titles in 5 different weight classes, from super featherweight all the way to light middleweight, and he beat champions and top contenders without losing his cool. Some fans didn't always find his fights exciting, but no one could deny how smart and skilled he was. He was patient, accurate, and hard to hit. He didn't take unnecessary damage, which is why he stayed sharp for so long. Floyd Mayweather Jr. changed boxing by proving that brains could beat brawn, that defense matters just as much as offense, and that fighters could be businessmen too. In a sport known for hard punches and hard times, Mayweather played the game better than almost anyone, and he left undefeated. Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson grew up in a rough part of Brooklyn, New York. As a kid, he faced a lot of trouble fighting in the streets, getting arrested, and living without much guidance. But everything changed when he found boxing. A trainer named Cus D'Amato took him in like a father and taught him how to fight and how to focus. Tyson turned pro at just 18 years old, and within 2 years, he became the youngest heavyweight champion in history at only 20. When Tyson stepped into the ring, the crowd didn't expect a long fight. They expected a knockout, and most of the time they got it in the first round. What made Tyson different was his power and speed. He wasn't the tallest, but he was like a machine. He moved fast, hit harder than anyone, and came forward like a storm. He used a special style taught by Cus: tight defense, fast head movement, and explosive punches. When Tyson got close, it was almost always over. Tyson also changed how people watched boxing. His fights were huge events. Fans all over the world tuned in just to see how fast he would win. He made heavyweight boxing exciting again and brought back fear into the ring. Opponents were often beaten before the first punch just by Tyson's presence. Outside the ring, Tyson's life was wild and full of ups and downs. Fame hit him fast and he struggled to handle it. He lost fights, went to jail, and had financial problems, but no matter what happened, people kept talking about him. Mike Tyson changed boxing by bringing raw power and fear back to the sport. He reminded everyone that heavyweights could end a fight in seconds. Even today, his highlights are still some of the most watched in boxing history. Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao was born in the Philippines in a poor village where life was very hard. He sold bread on the streets as a child to help his family survive. He didn't have money for proper food, shoes, or school most of the time, but what he had was a heart and a dream to fight. At just 16, Manny stepped into the boxing ring as a pro. He was small, skinny, and didn't look like someone who would win big. But he was fast, aggressive, fearless. He kept moving up, beating bigger fighters, shocking the world again and again, and in time, he became the only boxer to win world titles in 8 different weight classes, a record no one else has ever reached. Pacquiao's fighting style was wild and electric. He moved in and out fast, hit from strange angles, and kept his opponents guessing. Fans loved him because every fight felt like a war. He didn't run or play safe. He stood and fought. That made people respect him even when he lost. What made Pacquiao truly special wasn't just his wins, it was who he was. He stayed humble. Even after making millions and becoming famous around the world, he helped his country. He gave money to the poor, built homes, and even became a senator to serve the people of the Philippines. He was more than just a boxer. He was a hero to millions. Manny also helped bring attention to boxing in Asia. He made the sport more global, showing kids everywhere that it doesn't matter where you come from, you can rise if you fight hard enough. His fights weren't just events, they were national holidays in the Philippines. Streets would go quiet and everyone watched. Manny Pacquiao changed boxing by winning titles in multiple weight classes, proving that greatness isn't about size, it's about heart and determination. Throughout it all, he stayed true to his roots, inspiring millions around the world.